up, we have Sam Staab. Stephen Goff, you can go first.
Hi, Sam. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
In the big picture, to see what this team has done over the last couple months, given everything you've had to deal with, what are your emotions and thoughts right now?
Honestly, there's nothing you could say besides just being so proud of this group. We have overcome just about everything someone should overcome in an entire career, and we did it in the past 2 months. So, just overwhelming feeling of just being proud for everyone. This is just a great feeling. It's my first time making the playoffs as well, so I'm really excited for that.
And just to follow up, the players seem to have been able to put aside all the distraction once you get on the field between the lines. What's that process?
Honestly, I think we all just really, really love each other on and off the field, and just having that camaraderie just gets us through pretty much anything.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
Jason, go ahead.
Hi, Sam. Thanks for talking to us. Congrats on the win. We just talked about defending, so congrats on another shutout.
Thank you.
I really first wanted to ask about this game kind of, it seemed like you were building pressure slowly but surely, and then they went to five at the back, and all of a sudden, players like you and Emily and Andy were getting big spaces. What did you see connecting with Trinity on the goal?
Honestly, I just saw their line pretty jagged. They were leaving spaces open, and Trinity is one of the most athletic people I've ever seen. So if you just find some space to put it in, she's going to go get it.
Thinking back to the early part of the game when Houston seemed to be able to sort of press a lot. I know they got a lot of corners in that spell. What were you, as a group, trying to adjust to sort of, for me at least, that last hour of the game, it seemed like from there you sort of took over?
Yeah, so we just kind of had to adjust our angles and how quick we were playing. I think we played well in the first half. We just didn't have that extra bite, and we had to bring that extra bite in order to get the win and get a home game for the playoffs. So we adjusted for that at halftime and obviously got the win, so it works out.
Last one for me is, do you have what's your Halloween costume?
It's kind of an inside joke, but a bunch of us, we love the restaurant Guapos. We go there and get like tacos, quesadillas, margaritas, stuff like that. So one of our friends is the manager, and he hooked us up with shirts and stuff. So we're going to be waitresses from there. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
Jose, go ahead.
Hey, Sam. Congrats on the result.
Thank you.
What has, from what you see, the past 6 games, you guys have only surrendered 2 goals. What have you guys done defensively to keep this not just the shutouts, but keep this the lack of surrendering goals consistent throughout these last 6 games?
I think we've definitely in the past couple of months just put more of an emphasis on our defensive shape and what we want to do. We've all gotten on the same page now of how we're going to press, how we're going to defend. If we get beat, what positioning we want to get back into. And I think more than anything, it was all of us just getting on the same page before the game about what we wanted to do, and then just the mentality from there to stick with it.
That's all I got. Happy Halloween.
Awesome. Happy Halloween.
Kellen, go ahead.
Hey, Sam. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
With all that's been going on, with the franchise and with the team, you mentioned earlier that the team has gotten pretty close. Like, how has the team grown in terms of their relationship and their camaraderie over, the last couple weeks?
Yeah, so I feel like with everything, there's so much that's been up in the air off the field, and it's tough to put any more energy towards that now at this time of the year. So I think we've all just kind of taken a step back from there and just been like, let's focus on us. Let's focus on us as players. We know that's going to be consistent. And we've just done that, taken a step back and just been like, hey, this is going to be, we're working on our relationships here on the field, off the field. This is all about us. We're going to be together. We've used this word together for most of the second half of the year. So staying together, really just focusing on that. And then we just kind of switched our mentality to be like, let's just send it. We've had a pretty tough year of it, so we're just going for it.
Yeah, we saw everyone on the field that just like, hey, you're in a circle, like taking photos.
Michelle was down there in her uniform. What was that moment like for everyone, just to have that everyone down there?
It was awesome. I mean, we wanted to do this all together, and we have, and that's all that we can kind of focus on right now, and it was great to have us all together for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Andre, go ahead.
Kelly kind of had my question. I wanted to ask you actually, first of all, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
I wanted to follow up on Michelle King showing up. Was that planned?
Yeah, we had asked her, hey, what's your Halloween costume? She said she didn't have one, so we said she needed her own spirit uniform, and we didn't know if she was going to follow through on it, but it was so cute. We're glad she did.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys. We'll have Trin up here in just a moment.
Thank you.
All right. First, we'll go to Jason.
Hi, Trinity. Thanks for speaking with us. Congrats on the win, the goal. I kind of asked Sam the same question. What were you looking for on the goal, the connection with her? You know, it seemed like when Houston brought in the extra defender, it was giving a lot of the deeper lying players some time and space to pick the forwards out on these longer balls.
Yeah, I think the whole game, honestly, they were pretty high, and all the forwards had been calling to get it in behind, and I think it was just the timing and the awareness of Sam to be able to hit that ball, and we had been looking for it all game, and obviously we played a couple, but we didn't get them off, and I think her last touch, we kind of had eye contact, and I was like, okay, you got to play it, and then made that run in behind, and obviously there's so much space in behind, so it worked out perfectly.
You know, I'm sure you know by now, you know, not just getting into the playoffs, but getting a home game. It's been a long time for the team. I was wondering, you know, speaking for yourself, speaking for the whole group, you know, what are the emotions at this point now that you kind of have that to look forward to?
Yeah, I think honestly, it's kind of like a relief because obviously there's been a lot going on and we've been through a lot and we've stuck by each other's side through everything, and soccer's obviously been our outlet for everything. So I think honestly the biggest thing is a relief, and I think we're more motivated than anything. We want to win so bad, and we'll do anything to get the win. So I think relief and just excitement for that. And especially having the home game with the home fans, obviously, it gives us a lot of support behind. So.
My last question, I'll ask the same one I asked Sam. What's your Halloween costume for tonight?
Scooby-Doo. Me and a couple of the players are doing Scooby-Doo, so I'm going to be Velma from Scooby-Doo.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Steve, go ahead.
Hi, Trinity. Thanks for your time. What was it like having Michelle out there and joining your celebration at the end, and what kind of things were you guys talking about?
Yeah, Michelle's just kind of a bundle of joy. She's just the sweetest human being ever, and obviously she came out in a uniform, and we've never seen her in anything other than the fanciest clothes ever. So I don't know, having her support and just her energy overall is really good for us, and obviously her being a woman and standing behind us is great. So whenever she's around, it's just better, and everybody's happier. So we love her.
Great. Thanks, Trinity.
Yeah.
Andre, go ahead.
Hey, Trinity, congrats on the win and congrats on the goal. My question was just more larger picture. Obviously, your season's not done, but this is your first NWSL regular season. So looking back, how did it go? How are you feeling physically? Did you exceed your expectations?
Yeah, honestly, before I started, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know it was going to be this hard. I didn't know I was going to have to push myself to these limits. But I don't know. Overall, it's been amazing. I've improved every single game. The people around me have, like, I would have never imagined having such a good team to support me and make me a better player every single practice, every single game. So, biggest thing is just, like, improvement from my first game to this, getting into the playoffs. So I think, yeah, it's been awesome. And it's been hard, but having a team like mine has made it easier. And I'm just thankful for the first season to be done so fast.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, we'll do two more questions, Jose and then Mario.
Trinity, congratulations on the goal and the win. Kris had said in the previous press conference in the last home game that the COVID situation actually was a benefit to you to give you some rest, to get you ready for these last 6 games. What about that break was good for you to get back healthy and in shape for this run that you guys are on?
Yeah, I think obviously I've played significant minutes throughout the season, and obviously I run a lot, and it's definitely been a lot, and I've been drained a couple games where I've just kind of like hit this wall where I'm like, ooh, I need to get back to the beginning and kind of like reset my body and my physical side. So I think that definitely helped me, not just like resting, but like being able to just like train at my own pace for a week and like kind of control what I do, and then getting right back into it and finishing off this last game. So it was definitely great for me, and I'm glad I got to take that little break.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mario, go ahead. Do you have one?
Hey, Trinity, congratulations on the win. Also, congratulations on the goal. I just got to ask, how does it feel, especially in your first season, being able to make the playoffs and being a key contributor in that playoff push? And also, what's your favorite Halloween movie?
Yeah. I don't know. It's been awesome. This season's been great, and obviously getting goals and like having that impact has been amazing. Nothing I ever expected, and I don't know. Getting this dub on Halloween was obviously awesome, and we're definitely gonna hang out the team tonight, so that'll be fun. And for Halloween movies, I don't know. I don't really watch Halloween movies. I don't think I have one, to be honest. So I don't have an answer for that. Sorry.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, of course.
All right, thank you guys. We'll have this up in 2 minutes. Not really. Thanks for All right, we have Kris Ward here. Jason, you can go first.
Hi, Kris. Congrats on the win. Getting a home playoff game, all that good stuff. Kind of a big deal. It feels like. I guess first I wanted to ask what you saw as this game developed. Houston had a lot of corners. Were pressing pretty hard in the early going, but as the game wore on, even before halftime, it seemed like you were collectively kind of figuring it out, and then they went with the third center back later, and that seemed to open things up for you.
Yeah, so I mean, I think, one thing is people are asking, they felt like it had been a really long time since they had played a game. So I think that was one aspect to it, of just starting off slow, and then there's a ton of emotion going into the game, from Houston's side as well as from ours. And so trying to work through that, and the immediate solutions not being easy or apparent, I think, helped to, just not allow us to settle in the way that we wanted to. And so there were times like this in all these games where it's just about trying to do your job to the best of your ability, trying to be a really good pro, being smart about when and where you have the ball and not taking chances. And so, they had to manage the first half until we could get him in and talk to him and kind of explain, how it was that we wanted to change things. And then, again, I think second half they came out. We talked about needing to start with the energy that we didn't start the game with. And just a couple little things like in the build-up, we felt like there were places where it was too slow and we wanted to speed it up. And then pockets that we wanted people to get into that would be able to help us unlock them a little bit. And so we started off, kind of, it was the flip of what the first half was, where they started very strongly and were all over us. We started the second half very strongly and we're all over them. And I think that just continued to build and build and build. It was just a good, solid professional performance from everyone. And, I give them all the credit in the world for, getting the goal, making it happen, seeing it out, continuing to create chances and being very smart in different scenarios. There's times earlier in the year where we would be winning games and you'd have to remind people that they needed to manage the game appropriately. And, now they're all doing those things just kind of as second nature. And so, it's nice to see that kind of evolution at the same time.
My last question is just, you and I just talked for a piece that I haven't quite finished yet about one of the things you've developed lately is having these different options with the fullbacks. You're able to approach games differently based on their personnel, their tactics. What were you looking for today to go with O'Hara and McGrady as your fullbacks as opposed to some of the other options you had?
So with Houston, a lot of times they can, heavily shift to one side of the field. And so as we're going and trying to play around that, that was one of the things that we just didn't really do in the first half. And I don't know that we did enough in the second half, but the idea behind those two in particular were that when we switched the ball, we wanted to get them behind Houston's line of four, their midfield four. And from there, both players are very good at being able to serve dangerous balls or go 1v1 or combine and find little seam passes. And so, for Tegan, it had been coming back from a little bit of an injury setback that she had, I think mostly in August, but that had carried over into September a little bit. And so getting her back to the point where she could do 60, I think what'd she do, 68 today or something like that, so it was good. I have to check in with her and see how she's doing, but just getting her back to that place. But you can see when Julia came in, there's no drop off whatsoever. I mean, she did a great job as well. So it was, from that standpoint, it's one, trying to see that they can both get past that line to attack the way that we wanted to, but then two, it's also making sure that as we go into the playoffs, we have every option available to us. And so Julia's played a handful of games now. Kelly, Paige, Tegan's now gotten over, almost to 70 minutes. So we've got a lot of people who can do a lot of different things. And that just helps us go in and have, all of the different options as we get into the playoff games.
Great. Thanks, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, go ahead.
Hey, Chris, thanks for your time. What in the big picture, to see what this team has done and what it has overcome with everything that's gone on, what can you say now that you've reached the end of this regular season in the position you're in, and how the players have responded to all of it?
Everyone that I talk to, all the credit goes to the players because, they're the ones, unfortunately, who were the ones that were tasked with driving a lot of the change. And so, there's people that I talk to, players that I talk to on this team who I see them some days and they're just they're just spent. They don't really have more to give, and they're being asked to do more than any person should. And so, as much as we can, from a staff perspective, we just tried to take that into account and say, okay, this needs to be a place where they feel comfortable collaborating. They feel comfortable talking to us and telling us when they feel good, when they don't feel good, when they need a day. And as opposed to, it being more of a thing of, no, this is your job. You have to show up every single day and do this thing. There is an aspect of that always needs to come with it, but just being a little bit more understanding given all the different things that they were trying to change within our team, within the league, within women's soccer overall. So, I'm continually amazed to see them continue to show up in the ways that they do. And, when there's been a lot that's been stacked against them, they've always risen to the occasion. And so I'm super happy for them. I'm super happy for DC to have a home playoff game. I'm just, I never could have imagined this on August 10th. I think was when this all started. So, yeah, I'm just really psyched for everyone.
Great, thanks, Chris.
Kellen, go ahead.
Hey, Chris, just building on that, how have you seen the players, grow closer to each other over these past few weeks where you haven't lost a match? And what is your role as a coach in all that?
It's just being really aware of the situation. It's within like coaching circles, and I don't want to get into it too much, but there's a lot of talk around like complex systems and dynamic systems, and understanding that anything that you add into that system could effectively change it. And so you have to be aware that that's legitimately anything. It is how you deliver a team talk from a day-to-day basis. It is how you structure the team within training on a day-to-day basis. All of those little things can add up to create ripples through the team. And so it's being extremely cognizant of those things. And I think at the same time, it's being really blessed with great helpers, the ability to get both Lee and Annie in, because Paul and I have been here all year. It's one of those things of the players have had our voice all year, even though now it's in different roles. But being able to lean on Lee and Annie both to take some of that. And so, it's understanding, just going through, like yesterday we were doing our walkthrough, and I don't need to say anything in that moment. Lee had everything covered. He hit all the points. I need to be there to support him, and I'm there to answer questions if someone turns and goes, Chris, what do you want here? But in general, I don't need to interject myself into that. And so it's just understanding, that's kind of how this staff has coalesced, and how powerful it is to just be able to sit back and not say things from time to time, but then to just be very, very aware of words and tone and overall structure, when they need to physically push a little bit more. All of those different types of things, I think I personally have tried to be very, very aware of those. And, we haven't really had that many battles, but it's the thing of, which battles are worth fighting. And so it's just looking at that, and at times it's just diffusing a situation that doesn't need to blow up into anything else. But it's all of those types of things, and just thinking about that, and just and knowing, this one thing, it has the ability to change the team for better or worse. And so you just have to be thoughtful about it. And like everyone's taken really well to it. We've seen even just yesterday again, I was talking with Paul about people staying after and doing work and people joking with each other and people just being able to collaborate within. If we're working on defending a wide free kick, taking input from both Sonnet and Sam and Kelly and Andy and Aubrey and making sure that it's a dialogue that doesn't get bogged down in too many things, but also making sure that, yes, let me hear your point. And then if we need to adjust, then we can. But just making sure that they feel comfortable doing that. And, that's been really nice to see grow over the last couple months.
Thanks, Chris, and congrats on the win.
Thank you.
All right, we'll do two more. Jose and then.
Hey, Chris, congrats on the win. I only have one question. Heading into this playoff game against North Carolina, you guys have gotten 2 victories against them, but a draw recently. Thinking with today in mind, as well as what you guys have done this season, what do you feel the team needs to do heading into this match against Carolina?
Yeah, I think the 2 times that we played them here, we were very good in both. When we drew them 0-0, that was a time of, I remember the first half we just didn't start as well, and the second half we came out and we were extremely good and really unlucky not to score a goal in that one, but 0-0 was probably fair. Whereas when we played them down there a couple of weeks ago, they took it to us. And so we've got to look at all of those things. We've got to look at all of those games and just remember there are things that we did extremely well, and try and utilize those as much as possible. And there are things that we didn't do well and we just need to be on guard for those so that we can be prepared. But, I think in general, everyone is happy to stay here, happy to stay in their own beds, happy to stay, training. It's great weather. So I think everyone's they're really looking forward to it. They're excited about being in the playoffs and now, having a home playoff game and being able to play in front of the fans who have, stood by us through so much. It's really great.
Thank you. On to Jason.
Chris, I'm going to ask what I asked the players as well. I kind of have to. What's your Halloween costume going to be?
I went around all day yesterday looking for a pea coat so I could try and go as one of the brothers from the Boondock Saints. But there are no pea coats to be found. I actually found one. It was $1,200. I was like, no, I don't get paid enough for that. So I actually have I have an old World War II gas mask and an old camouflage poncho liner. So I think I'm just going to go as a World War II soldier. And that's going to be it because I, was not able to procure the outfit yesterday. But yeah, no, that's what I have in the locker room as we head up to whatever event that we've got set up now.
All right, Chris, that sounds pretty great. I'm not going to lie. That's a good one, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
I appreciate everyone. Keep it up. Keep supporting us. Keep writing. They deserve it, and we appreciate everything you do.